Hello, everyone. Welcome to Relationship Advice for Women. You all know I like to do conversations with Grace every once in a while. Now, y'all know I do my little glasses thing, but today I really wanted to try one of my hats. Now, I did a leap of faith with this hat because my friend said she didn't like it. She said, So let me know, in the comments below. If you like the hat, give me a thumbs up. If you like Grace, Jonna, because who is Grace? Who's John? That's me. I love you. I like you, girl, but please don't wear that hat again. Let's do a vote. But anyway, you all, I'm so happy to be here with you. I have a lot going on, a lot of things that we've been doing. So much. I gotta actually prepare this part because I gotta tell you. Hold on. Okay, anyway, I got everything I needed to show y'all later on. But y'all, we have been doing a lot. And before we get started, I want y'all to get ready. Okay? Grab you some popcorn, grab you a little blanket, because we're going to answer these questions that you all have asked. Let me tell you this, okay? I don't get a chance to do this solo dolo often because I've been in a new little era, but have fun with me. All right, have fun with me. I encourage you, interact because I don't get a chance to answer you all's questions like I used to do. So let's get straight into it, you all. And we got 10 great questions for you, and we're gonna get straight into it. First question. All right. Why am I so insecure in relationships? I overthink everything and can't stop feeling afraid. Okay, so we're gonna dive into why they asked this question. Um, let's look a little bit. Okay. This person says, how can I stop being so insecure and fearful in relationships? I overthink a lot and I fear that someone doesn't really love me. I start overthinking the over the smallest change in behavior, mood, etc. of my boyfriend. I want to stop. I want to be a better woman. Okay. That's big, right? That's actually really kind of big because this type of fear can actually be stressful to your partner. You know, you have to work on yourself, right? You have to be okay if this person leaves you. I believe it's a fear of abandonment, but you got to be okay if this person will no longer be in your life. You know, it's a lot of declaring and decreeing and just believing that the person who God has for you is going to come to you, and understanding that everyone who is in your life is not meant to be there forever. I remember the other day I already had to release all of my family members who are close to me into God's hands because I don't know when they are going to leave from this earth. And if I fear and dreaded every time my children got in the car, my husband got in the car, my mom or whatever, I wouldn't have no peace, right? I wouldn't have no peace. And then my worry would probably end up worrying them, you know. So what I want to say is, and for all of you, everybody doesn't believe in God. In this case, it's good to believe in God because you need to be able to rely on somebody or try it. You understand what I'm saying? Try it. See if this God, who I believe in and a lot of other people believe in, is able to take that fear away from you, right? And help you to be okay that this person may not be in your life again. And not even just this person. You might have to literally talk and release everyone from your heart who you are afraid of leaving you. And that might be, leaving because they're passing away, or just leaving because look, a road trip. No, but literally leaving is a part of a grieving, right? When somebody leaves you, they're no longer a part of your life. It's like cutting off. That stuff hurts. But that's something that's going to take therapy. It's going to take somebody who, has gone through that process before to help you do this. So I can give you all these tips and tricks right now, but honestly, I believe with you that somebody will have to hold your hand through this. Okay. And so we're going to look and see what else you said with this. Let's check. Okay, so you regret that you feel like you haven't done everything that you could have done when you were young and you're old now. Wow, yeah. And so the fact that you said you're old now, I can't, you know, I can't lie and say you're not old. I don't even know how old you are, but the fact that you think you're old, that happens a lot. When we reflect, even I know some people who are younger, they were 30 and they look back over their life and like, dang, I thought I would have been further. And so old is obviously not 30. So I'm going to just, use, common wisdom and say you must be older than 30. But, you know, one way you can get over that hump is forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself that you wasted time. Forgive yourself that you didn't do what you feel like you needed to do, and move on. Because the thing is, you still have time. You still have life left to live. And it's not wise to live in regrets, right? You can't do anything about that. Okay? So, move on and enjoy today. And whatever you felt like you didn't do, start working on how to do that tomorrow. All right? So let's go to the next question. Okay, number 2, I walk away to protect my peace, but my significant other says it's hurting him. Am I being selfish? Okay, I feel like I want to, excuse me, I don't know why I'm feeling stuffy. I feel like I want to turn this down just a little bit. Um, am I being selfish? I don't know. Let's hear more of the story. You said I have learned to walk away when I have been pushed past my ability to feel or think straight. What do I do when that boundary that has saved me is hurting my significant other? I feel like things are said that get me so worked up that I can't talk right or be a good significant other, like taking jabs or just anything unproductive like that. So walking away until I'm calm is what I desperately need. It seems to need, he seems to need to have the last word, which would be fine with me. But it's what he chooses to say that bothers me. Why name call or keep going in circles? Am I being selfish? First of all, I want to applaud you and commend you for learning to walk away during heated discussions. That's actually a sign of maturity. Learning, you said learn. We have to learn. A lot of times people want to have the last word. A lot of times people want to fight it out. But you have to be mature enough to learn that right now is not the best time for us to be having this conversation. So I got to go ahead and walk away. However, your significant other has not grown to that level of maturity. So the thing is, I don't want to say that it's okay to stonewall, but I do want to say that it's okay to say, look, we're going to have to talk about this another time. All right. I don't see that this is being productive. We're going to have to talk about this another time, and I'm out. Now, your partner has to respect your process. And to be honest, this is a very wise thing to do. I remember when I was in college and I was a communications major, and I was at a marketing major as well. So anyway, but we had, it was in my communications class, and I had to do a project about What happens when you are in a heated discussion? What do you need to do? Exactly what you just said. Calm yourself down and choose to walk away. Now you're not being selfish. Why does he keep calling you names? Because he wants to bother you. That's the point. He wants it to hurt you. He wants to get your attention. Sometimes people do whatever they can do in order to get your attention. It's not because it's true, but it's because you're paying attention to what he's saying. When what he says begins to no longer phase you, he's going to feel like he's in trouble at that point because he no longer has any control over your emotions. He wants to be able to control your emotions instead of you having the power to control your own emotions, all right? So that's really what that is, but you added something in this. You said you regret not focusing on yourself sooner and losing yourself in the process of waiting for others to learn for themselves. Yeah. Yeah, I remember a friend, and I really wanted that friend to do better in life, and I was hanging around. I was hanging around, but I saw that pulling me down. And the thing, all I can say is, you know, I ask about these regrets because it's important that you know that it's done. You cannot get that back. All you can do is learn from it. I remember I regretted some opportunities. I would literally regret it. I would feel so stupid. Like, that is the point. So when you get an opportunity, you remember. You wise up and you learn from what you lost out on last time so you don't do that again. But wallowing in regret is unhealthy. So I encourage you to be grateful that you found yourself and that you can continue moving forward and then be an inspiration for other people who need help and guidance finding their own selves. Um, so the next question, what can I do to make my man love me again? Oh my. What can I do to make my man love me again? Okay. Mm. What did you have to say with this? It was very simple. What will I do to make my man love me again? Um, it's not wise to try to make anyone love you. You can't control anyone. You cannot make anyone love you. But what you can do is accept that he has fallen out of love with you. And you can just declare it in the atmosphere. No matter what you believe, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So you can declare that I accept that my relationship is no longer. And I release this person from my heart. I release this person from my heart, right? I release this person from my heart. And then ask God to take away the pain of that grief that you are feeling. You know, making somebody do something against their will is not right, right? I mean, it just isn't. Give him the freedom. Love him. You can choose to love him even though he may not love you, but love him by walking away, by accepting the fact that there might be somebody better for him, and continue to say those words. Sometimes we got to hear hard truths. When we tell those hard truths to ourselves, there might be someone better for him. There is someone better for him. And there is someone better for me, right? Then we won't try to force anyone to come back into our lives who willingly walked away. And so the second part is talking about your regrets. You said you regret falling in love with the guy without thinking twice. You said, I regret falling in love with him without thinking twice. Yeah, I get that. Without thinking. When we do things, we have to protect our heart, like literally guard our heart above all things, because we don't want to give our heart or just fall for somebody who is not delicate with us, because that could literally tear us into pieces. Everybody is not deserving of our hearts. Our hearts is very precious, extremely precious. And so I understand that this hurts. I understand why you regret this. But the point is, like I said before, make sure you remember that you won't ever be so quick to give someone your heart again. Guard your heart, protect your heart, love yourself. That's part of loving yourself. Your heart is precious, and you got to be careful who you give it to. The next question is, how do I trust men again when I've only had bad experiences? So, look, that's tough, and I understand. I absolutely understand. Um, but you said a little bit more. You said, how do I go back, or how do I go back to trusting men when I have only had bad experiences in my 30s, but I never dated in my 20s? Um, so that's what you said. How do you go back? The thing is, learn and understand that all men are not the same. They're just not. And another thought that came to my mind is watch love stories. Not just watching love stories, but watch real life testimonies. And I've talked to plenty of women who found love after an awful divorce. They found love again. When many people want to, throw in the towel and say, I'm done with this, what I would say is look at testimonies. Even go through my page. I mean, ask me for different testimonies that I can personally send you. And I know women who have gone through terrible marriages, got divorced, and then married again, and their life is just so um, much more successful when it comes to love and marriage. I mean, literally, just watch testimonies. And then those testimonies, often when that person has gone through a hard trial and they overcome and they come out with something better. It reminds me of that song by Fantasia, sometimes you gotta lose to win again. And that's what one woman testified when she was in a narcissistic, abusive marriage. She said that song by Fantasia, sometimes you got to lose to win again. And I know it's difficult to trust people, but trust God. If God says that there is someone for you, even though you've been hurt, trust what He said. However, I know that there are women who I should say, I don't believe in God. Well, guess what? You can make that decision to believe what you want. If you don't want to trust men no more, you don't have to. But what you can do is speak life and say, I will not let this pain get the best of me. I want love, so I'm going to get over this, right? Regardless if I get hurt or not, I want to experience love again. And you can decide to do that, regardless if you believe in God or not. That's what I believe. And is that the last thing you had to say with that? Um, yeah, well, you said that you regret that. Hmm, it didn't lead. You thank God it didn't lead to sex. A couple of experiences involve sexual harassment. Okay, so you regret that a couple of your experiences in life involved sexual harassment. Um, yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. But guess what? That's also something that I know that you can overcome, not to minimize your experiences, but you all know that I talk to thousands of women. And all I can say is by talking to so many different women, they were able to come out victorious. And I want y'all to go back and kind of look at some of the things that I've done in this podcast, the different guests. Y'all know by now. If you don't, this podcast is really based on real life stories. It's not, I really rarely have um, just experts in a particular relationship type thing. When I say type thing, I mean like specialist or a relationship guru. I rarely have psychologists or therapists come on here talking about stuff because I want y'all to be able to receive power through somebody else's real life testimony. And I'm not saying that there's not a place for therapists and psychologists and things like that, because there is. However, you all have real life questions and y'all need to see somebody who has gone through what you have gone through so that you can know that there is light on the other side of the tunnel. So, our next question, and we're getting through this kind of fast, and I'm really thankful for that, is number 5. My husband won't listen to my problems. He either ignores me or flips out. What do I do? My husband won't listen to my problems. He either ignores me or he flips out. So, what you said is, I feel like I have an unsupportive husband who does not like to hear my problems. When I have an issue, I bring it up to him. Sometimes he understands and sometimes he flips out. It makes me feel bad for saying anything. I need advice or someone who can listen. Okay, so your husband does not get you. You feel like he's not the friend that he should be. And I get that. The best advice I can give you is stop talking to him. I mean, if he's not going to make you feel good when you need to be uplifted, don't talk to him. Talk to a therapist or find a friend to talk to. Somebody who actually supports you when you're down. Somebody who actually listens instead of lashing out, because that is so counterproductive. And some people might say, why would you tell her to stop talking to her husband? If your husband is doing things that's very unhealthy for your mental health, there's no point in you talking to him. Let you talk to someone else who could actually be a listening ear, or somebody else who can give you wise counsel. And he might notice that you've stopped coming to him for advice. And then will be the opportunity for you to open up and tell him what's really going on. But to continue talking to him and he's not understanding is really pointless, in my opinion. And let's see if you said anything else with this. And I'm going to also say pray about it. However, you still got to follow God's guidance, and whatever the Lord tells you to do. Now, like I said, if you're, I give advice for people who are um, believers in Christ and then who are not. So if you don't believe in God, do what I said before. Talk to a therapist or a friend. You know what I mean? And even if you do believe in God, when it comes to feeling unsupportive, you want that human interaction. We are humans, and we want human interaction for a reason. Don't just say, well, I'll pray about it. God is going to send you someone who can physically be a listening ear. Now, you should pray first always, but then be sure to go to that person who's a listening ear, because like I said, we need that empathy. We need that understanding from an imperfect human, right? God understands us, but God is perfect, and He put us around imperfect people so that we can lean on for that comfort and that support. So let's see if there was anything else you wanted to say with this. So you are regretting that you haven't finished school, so you can't stand on your own feet and take care of yourself. Look, finishing school has nothing to do with standing on your own feet and taking care of yourself. And I'm sorry you feel regret for that. I get that. I gave up on 2 opportunities in my master's program, so I get the regret. I absolutely get it, and I don't think I stopped regretting it until probably ooh, probably close to 7 or 8 years, until after I messed up that opportunity. But let me tell you, That deep regret you feel is really so you can recognize when you need to take hold of the opportunities that are before you. And you have the opportunity right now to forgive yourself. Instead of living in that regret, you have the opportunity right now to not blame you not standing on your 2 feet on school. Don't blame that on school. Anybody could tell you that those educational institutions don't really have a lot to do with where they got right now. It's me. My husband, he didn't go to school, but he's very successful. We're successful. We didn't, well, I did go to school, but I didn't have to. Okay. And that's what I'm letting you know that. I did not have to go to school. And I'm not talking about grade school. I'm just talking about, like college or anything like that. Now, if you didn't go to grade school, they always have opportunities. I don't know where you're from, but if you're in the US, you can go get your GED. And then, even so, you dropped out of school, re enroll in school. If that's something that's going to make you feel confident, you know, re-enroll, take up a trade or something. All I'm saying is going to school is not going to break you. It's really your mindset. Okay? So release that regret and take hold and control of your life because you can stand on your 2 feet. The next question, actually, let me stop. We got a little, we have a little bitty break. I want to show you all what we have been doing. Okay. If you have not partnered with me in a podcast, I do a lot of different segments. I've been pre-recorded my the other woman segment. We do real life things. So if you are very shy and you're embarrassed about what you went through, that's the opportunity for you to talk to me because you overcome by your testimony and you're able to help somebody else to overcome through your testimony. So I want to get you on here if you have a story to tell. This what I'm about to show you is the other woman segment. I really enjoyed speaking with this woman. She opened my eyes to a lot of things. We have breaking the breaking the silence of domestic violence to domestic violence and the wedding experts. Y'all forgive me for tripping up over my words like that. But I'm going to show y'all what our segment looked like. So you kind of trying to get away from him.
Right. Like at this point, I deal with you on my terms and when I'm ready.
Got you. So let's move into the next question. It says, did he make promises about leaving his partner for you? And then how did those promises affect your decisions?
He made promises, but I never asked for that. Like for an example, in the beginning, he didn't give me a choice. He chose for me because he didn't tell me.
That's just a snippet, you all. If y'all want to see more of that, please go to my YouTube channel. And I believe it is episode number 2 with Miss Cassie Gaines. She gave us an awesome testimony about her other woman mistress experience. So it's not that we gloat about it, but we do want to let you all know how people often find themselves in this situation. And you all know I am the administrator of relationship advice for women, and I often see women. And when I say often, I often see women participating in being the other woman. And I also see women who have broken hearts because they're still with a partner who has many other women. So you all check out those different series that I have. We even have the wedding experts that we've been doing. Check those out because they are super informative and they can help you gain wisdom and insight in areas that you did not know. So we are moving to number 6 now. And it says, I gave my man 8 years, 4 kids, and helped him get a good job. Now he's with someone else and calling her future wifey. How do I move on? Ooh, look, that's tough. Hmm. How do you move on after you've cried? Let's look at everything you said. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me 1 minute. Give me one. He said, I have been with a man for 8 years. Got, ooh, 8 years. Got him the good job that he has now. We've been through so much together since high school. We have 4 kids. Wow. And our youngest is 3 months. He recently went back to work 2.5 months ago and found himself a 30-year-old woman, and he's 25. Wow. He said I hurt him because I cheated on him 2 years ago, and it's all coming back. That I made him miserable and never loved or cared for him, which is all a lie. Now I had a conversation with this chick after finding everything out. And supposedly they are in a relationship now. He never wanted to get married. He made excuses about it, but gives this female a flower that says to my future wifey, and started going to church with her, which he never did with me. I am hurt, and I know I do not want to go back. I just need help moving on and finding peace. Wow. 8 years, 4 children, no marriage. You all, I am here to help y'all. I'm here to inspire y'all. I'm here to bring y'all out of the darkness into God's marvelous light. Y'all stop giving y'all years to a man who don't want to marry you. I have women in the group. Everybody don't want to get married. Most women do want to get married. They may not admit it. They may have given up on love, but something inside of most women wants to feel like I belong to this man. I want an everlasting commitment. And when somebody can just up and leave you, no real strings attached, no paper. Y'all can say paper. That doesn't mean anything. It actually does. It actually does mean something. And it's more than paper. It's a covenant. It's a lifelong commitment. Because see how somebody can break up easily, just leave, and you're married and you got 4 children. You married and you got 4 children. See how easy that is to leave. It's already difficult to leave when you have 4 children and you just been dating. But to have 4 children and you're married, that's not going to be an easy situation to leave at all. Unless you just abandon your wife. But at the same time, I hate that you had to experience this. You talk about church, that he goes to church with this woman. You talk about that he's calling her future wifey. He could be love bombing this woman, first of all. What woman? And I'm not bashing women. I talk to a lot of women. But what woman, 30 years old, gonna get with a 25-year-old man who has 4 children and the youngest is a 3-month-old? Seriously? Seriously. If that woman is okay being with a man who would just abandon his girlfriend after she just had her baby, his 4th child, that's red flags all over the place. I am very sorry you are going through this, but it sounds like you're young and your child is 3 months. I'm assuming what you're 25. You already done having your 4 children at 25. Look, make him pay child support. Make sure he pays for your children to be in daycare and school and after school care while you get your life right. I don't know what you got going on, but make him pay. If you want to leave, make him pay. Don't be staying at home with them children. Make him pay. Make him help you take care of them children. And you get your life together. Because the fact that he would even be willing to leave a woman who just had his 4th child, that's just terrible. And I'm not judging him, but that action, That's not okay. Period. But a support group. I always say that. I just created a single mom support group in the group. These groups are not just here to say, oh, there's a group, there's another group. Join it. When you're going through difficult times, look, you you have to have people who will hold your hand, pray with you through those difficult times. Even like I said, if you don't believe in God, somebody who will speak life into you, who will encourage you through those difficult times. But you did mention him going to church with this woman. Did you require him? It doesn't sound like it. Oftentimes, when a woman stay with a man that long and end up having all these children, even one child with a man, they relax. They feel like he's gonna stay. You know, they feel like they can't require him, but they got the children, they got the history. But when you start requiring things in the beginning, before you're tied, that before that soul gets tied, then you can have better control over the situation. But but anyway, all of that, her going to church, does she know about the 4 children? Does she know? There might be something. I don't even see anybody logically staying in that situation. Not logically, it doesn't make any sense. But and I'm sorry, y'all. I really kind of went off on that one. But you said one more thing, that you regret investing your whole 20s into someone just for it to hit the fan. Yeah, I get that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Especially like when you got 4 children. That's cruel. That's all I got. That is cruel. I really hope that guy comes to his senses, because that right there don't make any sense. Next question, it says, I need affection, but my husband hates being touched. Can this ever work out? Can this even work? Let's see what you said. I've been with my husband for 11 years. I want and need and enjoy physical affection, reassurance, but my husband does not like to be touched. He feels uncomfortable and claustrophobic when anyone touches him. He can hold hands and cuddle for a few minutes at a time, but I can feel how tense he is because of it. Is there any way to reconcile or dress our drastically different levels of need when it comes to physical touch? As you were saying that, I'm not um this is a place of temptation. This is something that you need. Absolutely. Everything that you just said, you actually do need that. You didn't get married to not be touched. But something going on with your husband, to the fact that he is feeling anxious and anxiety and uncomfortable and claustrophobic. Something I'm thinking something traumatic happened to him. And that's why these symptoms are happening, right? Something happened to him. And all of that stuff that's in his mind is being expressed through his body. Something happened to him. And until he gets help and release through therapy, through prayer, through counseling, guidance, whatever, that is still going to be there. Something happened to him, though. And he has to get healed from whatever that was. So it can work, but whatever happened to him, he gonna have to open up to a therapist, to God, ask God to deliver him from or heal him from whatever happened. Um, Once again, y'all know I give advice to all people, so please don't be offended when I mention God. If God does not, um, if you don't want to have nothing to do with God, then just block that out. Take what you can take. Okay. But anyway, and I'm gonna keep giving that disclaimer because and in my group, why do you mention God? I'm going to mention it. Okay. So anyway, y'all, when it comes to someone not feeling, the women say the same thing, and they come and they say, they've been raped, molested, or whatever, and they feel a certain type of way when their partner, significant other touches them, and and, and they have to open up and tell that person. Now, if he's not telling you, that's not fair to you. But I would ask him, did something happen to you? He may not immediately say anything, but the fact that you're asking him that, hopefully he'll end up thinking about it and maybe tell you. But your biggest regret is not being true to yourself when you were younger. Yeah. People pleasing, being afraid if people don't like you, so you try to fit in. Listen, even as an adult, people want me to please them. I'm not doing it. And I got to be okay with people not liking me. I get I get more delivered from the approval of people every single day. I do. But yeah, I get that. I do. You got to be true to yourself. Um Next question. I like a guy, but my anxiety won't let me make a move. How do I get out of my own head? How do I get out of my own head? Let's see what you said. I feel stuck in my head and have bad anxiety when it comes to putting myself out there. I've been trying to heal over the years of me and my ex baby father's relationship, but I never feel ready. I feel like I can't make any new relationships and I don't understand what my issue is anymore. For example, I like this dude at the gym and it's clear he likes me, I think, but when we make that eye contact, I break it and play it off. I feel too weird to acknowledge it and try and figure even why he's always staring at me. I feel blocked, but like I'm really trying. I guess my question is, how do I get rid of this feeling so I can be comfortable putting myself out there? I don't have much experience in this area and being introverted makes it worse. So my thing as far as with the guy, I wouldn't even go for a guy like that. Like, I mean, you definitely have to work on your anxiety, but him over here playing these eye games with you, I don't. If he like you, just walk up to you and he needs to talk to you. I like bold people like that. I don't like all that. What are you doing? Like, why are we playing these eyeballing games? Just come up and talk. I don't. I mean, that's the type of person I like. So in that case, I really don't think you've done anything wrong. I think what you're doing is fine. However, if he does come up to you, don't be too thirsty and don't be too awkward and weird. If you're interested and he's genuinely interested, then make that connection, right? So sometimes it's going to have some hand holding with that. If you feel like your ex is still having some type of hold on you, some type of mental and emotional hold, definitely go to counseling, work through those things, and ask a friend. A friend is really good because that's an accountability partner who can help you go out and meet different people, right? Your friend is there to also not just, be a person for you to lean on, but encourage you to socialize. I'm always going to advocate for this. Support groups. And since we mentioned support groups, guys, I'm going to go ahead and show y'all something real quick. This is a support group that we have. It's actually an empowerment group that we do in our group. It is called Empowering Women to Level Up. It's group coaching, you all. It's on Thursdays at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have not yet joined one of these empowering sessions, they're free. You need to do that. Like the registration for this should be down at the bottom. But you all in this group, we don't just sit up here and whine and pout. I am here to inspire you, uplift you, motivate you, and bring you out of the darkness into God's marvelous light. I am going to have options for you to overcome whatever it is that you're going through. I don't care what you believe in, you can get something from this. And so these type of groups, you don't even have to join mine. They have a lot of different other ones that are out there. I don't know all of them, but what I will say is join something. Join a support group. Find your people. Find your tribe. I had to do that. And I feel like this is the only reason I can tell y'all I had to do it too. In order to get through these really difficult times in life, you cannot do it alone. I'm telling you that right now. You cannot do it alone. You can't. You need somebody to hold your hand. It doesn't always have to be a therapist. It can be a friend. It can be a parent. It can be a sibling. But you need some help. We all need help. Okay? And so something else you said is that you regret not stepping out of your comfort zone for a lot of things that could have created opportunities. Yeah. You know, I'm an introvert as well. You may not believe it, but I am. I realized that, when I realized I was an introvert because I would always be reading books in my car. I noticed that I would just be in my car reading books, and I'm like, why? It was one day I didn't have no children, I didn't have no husband. I was in college. I was on college campus, and I was reading books, and I was like, hold on. I was thinking like, dang, I don't got no friends. And then something dawned on me. And I was like, how am I going to have friends and I'm always reading books in the car? That's automatically putting a shield right there. But I realized I was extroverted. But there are places for extroverts to meet. Right? I mean, not extroverted. I'm sorry. Yeah. I realized I was introverted. And when I realized I was introverted, I had to learn how to navigate as an introvert. And one thing I can say is, family was what I would navigate to until that started breaking off too. I'm not going to tell you that it was easy. It was quite difficult. I didn't fit in a lot of places until I made my own place. And what was that? My own family. I didn't make it. God made it, but still brought us together. My own, nucleus. My little 3 children and my husband. But, everybody doesn't have that. And I will say, being an introvert can cause you to get in that type of relationship too soon because you do not know how to make friends. Right? A lot of things that introverts go through is rejection, because wanting to be around people, but they're not really knowing how to do that. But anyway, that's a whole different conversation for another day. But I definitely understand where you're coming from, but there are solutions for that. Number 9, we are almost done. You said I caught my husband watching porn again. He refuses to listen and blames me for finding out. What now? I don't know, baby girl. Let's read what else you had to say. I caught my husband watching porn. He has had this problem throughout the years, and I've tried many times to talk to him about it, and he refuses to listen to me and blame me for even finding out. What do I do? How do I move forward? You know, sometimes I should always be in this spirit when I'm answering questions about people's husband, because my flesh is going to tell you to leave if he don't stop. Um, but it just depends. Are you praying about this? You know what I mean? Like, if you are a person, because I have advice for believers and non-believers, but if you believe in God make sure, it doesn't mean that this is going to be fixed, but you got to make sure you pray about this and do what the Lord is telling you to do, right? If you don't believe in God and you just want practical advice, if he's talked about it, I mean, if you've talked about it with him, he refuses to listen. Um, if you have brought it to like counselors, or you have talked about it, through counseling or brought up counseling, he's refusing to listen. If you've tried all these solutions and he's refusing to listen, he's actually having sex with other women in his mind. And that is grounds for you to leave, right? And you said you regret toxic thinking. I don't know how long this has been happening. However, that toxic behavior can definitely mess up your mind. It can definitely put you down that your husband is lusting after other women and having sex. It could be other men too. I don't know. But he's doing it in his mind. He's only supposed to be thinking about you like that, but he's thinking about other people. Listen, that's a tough thing to deal with. I understand how you can feel betrayed by that. But depending on how long you've been putting up with it, you don't have to put up with it forever. If it was me and I could leave, I would be out of there. Next question. You want to know how to start dating again after becoming a widow. Yeah, well, how do you start dating after losing your husband? Um, there is this thing I just thought about. It's this thing called Widows with a Purpose. I I met this woman through this prayer group I was in. She has like this organization, or ministry. I'm not sure what it is, but it's called Widows with a Purpose. And obviously, I would say ask other widows how they did it. Some widows did not do it. They probably thought they were too old. My mother was a widow. Um, I would say kind of like twice actually. But she was married to my father for like 23 years, and then he passed away. And then she actually was engaged for and it was dating this guy for about 5 years, and he ended up passing away. So um, put in your mind that you're gonna date after you talk to other women who have been through it, see what they did, and then put in your mind that that's what you will do. Have your time for grieving, but you don't have to grieve over your husband who passed away forever, right? That's not healthy. There is more life for you. And so you said that you feel regretful for not living life to the fullest and worrying too much. I just said the other day, what if I, or when I get to heaven, there was something that I always worried about that I literally realized there was no need to worry about that thing because God had always, always, always made provision for that thing. I would be like, wow, I really wasted my life worrying. I could have had peace, and I was over there worrying. So choose today to protect your peace and stop worrying. Um, Watch a tutorial, a learning session, whatever you want to call it, a YouTube video on how to protect your peace and stop worrying. If you regret that you didn't live your life to the fullest in the past, decide right now that from this point forward, you will live your life to the fullest. Thank y'all so much for giving me your time on this Wednesday, because in this season, even if y'all see old videos that have not yet been released, we are going to be releasing these podcast episodes. I can't even say Conversation with Grace gonna be every other because we got so many different segments. But these different segments for relationship advice for women are going to be airing in the year 2025 every Wednesday. So next week, it will not be a conversations with Grace segment. It'll be another segment. I can't tell you what it will be, but it will be different. And you will see. But anyway, thank y'all so much. Make sure y'all share this video with your friends, like it, subscribe to it, click the notification bell so every time a new video drops, you will be notified. And lastly, I want to invite actually, I had plenty of things to show you, but I couldn't. Oh, I want to invite you, y'all. I'm sorry, to please, if you have experienced any domestic violence, please share your testimony with us. We are doing a segment called Breaking the Silence to Domestic Violence. There are women in ministry, women who have been married to like people in politics who have been abusive, and the word needs to get out. People would not know that these men were abusive unless the women had the courage to share. This is your platform to be able to do that. Do not be afraid. If you have been in a domestic violence situation, now is your time to speak out. Even if you have to put a link in a comment or just look at the ways to find me. Y'all, my name is Jonna Bateman, but I also go by Grace. So just find me, and I would love to share your story so that you can empower other women. The next thing I want to share, y'all, is I will be showing you all about my love and marriage presentation event that I put on back in December. It was amazing. Listen, I'm going to be doing these. I decided I was going to do these more often because this was so needed. I mean, the statistics, the game, the role playing, everything that we did, it was so informative. I learned a lot. The guests learned a lot. It was amazing. I just wanted to show y'all this because the next time I put this on, I want you all to come. It's always going to be different because everybody's story is different, yet the theme will remain the same. And so that is literally kind of like all I have for you today. I appreciate y'all so much. And